Larry, great. Thank you. This program has been a year in the making. I think I had to twist his arm a little bit, but he's the only man in the 3 clubs that I belong to. He's the only man that told me he has a complete set of the 2-cent pieces. So I'll turn it over to Brad Lee for tonight's program.
Okay, thank you, Bob.
You want to come around
Yes.
here in the front?
No.
No?
No, I'll stand here. Okay.
You don't want to be in the picture, huh?
Okay, I inherited a collection back in the 60s, and it included all of the, every year of the 2-cent pieces, which were from 1864 to 1873. I did not have the 1873, and I didn't have the 1864 small date. But I now have all of those. So, I've traded for some of them, so that all of my coins are EF40s, except for the proof 1873. And this is my collection. The 1873 is in the lower right-hand corner, and the 64 small date is in the upper left-hand corner. There's one variation of the 1867, which is a double die, and I do not have that one. There's the reverse of the collection. Now, I have a little prequel to that. Even though it was the first minted 2-cent piece was 1864, they were talking about that, and there was legislation in 1806 to have a 2-cent piece. It was Uriah Henry was the senator from New York. So he approached Robert Patterson, the mint director at the time, and asked for his permission to do that. And Patterson said, "Nah, we don't need that." So that was the end of it until 1836. And it came around again. This time, the legislature did a pattern coin. And a pattern coin is actually, it's an experimental coin as to, how they think it should look. So in 1836, this was the only one they had. The mint director was Robert Patterson, and he took a look at that and said, "Well, my dad turned this down back in 1806. We didn't need it then, and we don't need it now." So that was the end of that one. So let's roll around to 1863. So they tried it again. This time, this was when the Civil War was going on, and the mint director this time, who was James Pollock, said, he's the one that said to the legislature, we need a 2-cent piece. So the Secretary of the Treasurer, Salmon Chase, he's the guy on our $10,000 bill, said he approached Abraham Lincoln, president, said, "Boss, what do you think about 2-cent piece?" And he says, "Here's some pattern coins." And he had this one with George Washington, here, and the motto on it is "Our God and Country." But they had another one as well. They had the shield one, and that one was "God Our Trust." and they had yet a third one, "In God We Trust." And Abraham Lincoln said, "I like In God We Trust." So there you have it. We have "In God We Trust" is on our coins and is on our currency as well. So in okay, now here's a list of all the coins minted, and it has the number minted for each coin. Total minted of all 10 years is 45,576,000. We have the value. The current. This is the 2018 Red Book. So it gives you your values here as well. The EF40 lists the value of all the various coins, but try and find one, at that price of the EF40s. It's not gonna happen. And especially your proof coin as well. You're not gonna get one for $3,100. I think I paid $3,700 for mine 4 or 5 years ago. In 1864, like I said, the Civil War was going on. Everybody was hoarding all the silver coins and all the copper coins. So what they wanted to put this 2-cent piece in circulation to go along with the fractional currencies. Back then they had paper money that were valued from anywhere from 1 to 50 cents. They also had Civil War tokens, which weren't really minted by the mint. They were just various states and commercial enterprises, but people liked them, so we used them. So we thought, well, we'll use all 3 of those. In the 1864, we have a couple different varieties. We have we have what we call the small date. Whoops.
Is that not working?
Yeah, that's my. Oh, maybe no.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go.
Hit the wrong button. Okay. So this is the small date is this is crowded. Small model. Yeah, it's kind of crowded right in here, and on this side as well.
It's shorter and more rounder too, right?
Yes. And then in your large date, there's a little more space between the D and the apron here on either side. What happened was that they did the small mottos first, but after a while the die planchets broke down, so they had to order more planchets, and this is what it came out was the large motto. In 1865, we have a couple different varieties. We have whoops.
Nope. What happened? What did you push?
You got it. Flashback.
Yeah.
Flashback.
Okay.
There. That was.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So you got the plain.
Wait, let's.
Huh.
It's still going.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Oh, you're doing it. Oh.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. So 18 on the bottom we have the plain 5. So you can see it's sort of straight across on the top of the 5. But then the 18, the 5, they call it the fancy 5. So you can see it's kind of turned up at the end. It's kind of swooped up.
A nice
It's like
piece.
Dilbert's tie. If you're familiar with the Scott Adams cartoon, Dilbert.
Yep.
So from 1866 to 1871, they were all pretty much the same, but you had some doubling. So you can see like the shadow in the trust and in gold. Some of the berries were a little different. There is the 1867, which was a double date. I don't have any pictures of that. But if you look in the red book, it's about 5 times what the normal date is. And in looking at the we, I forgot to mention that the we is usually the first thing that is obliterated. It's too high.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing that wears. It's like the old Buffalo nickels. It was always the dates that wore off first. All of my coins are full we's. I don't have a picture of the 1872. There was nothing really different about any of those. The 1873 has 2 varieties, an open 3, which is a little more space between the points of the 3, and the closed 3. They had more, this is the proof, they had more, they figured that this is per the Mega Red Book, I had never seen this before, that they figured, they had 400 proof 1873 closed 3. And I said 400, and then the open 3 they had 200. So there was 600 proof coins altogether, and that's all they did that year was the proof coins. By this time, per the Mega Red Book again, there's 280 certified coins. That's they're rated by the NCG. I was going to say NCG.
PGCGS.
Yeah, there's 3 different grading companies. So they figure 280 of the 1873s are certified in the closed date, and 130 certified in the open date. So that's a lot of coins that are certified out of 600.
Yeah, that is a big percentage.
So in the demise of the 2-cent piece first came across because the banks didn't want them. By now, 1873, the war was over, so money was circulating again. People weren't hoarding them. You had a 3-cent coin. You had the silver 3-cent piece, and you had a 5-cent coin available. There was also a fellow by the name of Joseph Wharton. He was a nickel miner. As a matter of fact, Mr. Wharton was very well connected and a very rich person. He owned his own nickel mine. As a matter of fact, he owned the only nickel mine in the United States. So he convinced Congress that, we don't need this 2-cent piece. Let's have a 3-cent nickel piece. And they all wanted to please him, so they came along with the we minted coins made out of nickel. If you're not familiar with Joseph Wharton, he's Wharton School of Business. He was also co-founder of Bethlehem Steel, and he lived from 1826 to 1909. We also have the Act of March 3rd, 1871. This called for the redemption and melting of the half cent, large cent, and the 2 cent pieces. So between 1871 and 1881, there were 17,557,941 2 cent pieces melted. So that's a pretty sizable chunk out of the 45 million. My credits: the Mega Red Book, Walter Breen's Complete Encyclopedia of U.S. coins. Have an article from the California Numismatist that talks about the history of the 2 cent piece. You've got your pattern coins and the, where's the other one here? Oh, the Getting Your 2 Cents Worth by Kevin Flynn. These two books I borrowed from Don Hill's library over in Vallejo. So Don, you can have your books back now. The 2018 Red Book, and I want to thank Dave Davis for all the time he spent helping me put this together, and the photography that he had.
All right.
So, thank you.
Yeah.
So, the end.
The end. Any questions for Brad? Mr. Taridi?
Since years I've been in decades of this, can you explain to me why, even if they were withdrawn in 1871, the high percentage of circulated 1864s? I remember clear back to the 70s, there wasn't a coin club to give away as a door prize these days. Why have we got all these circulated, terribly circulated 2 cent pieces floating around to this day?
Because that was the year they made the most of them. It was almost, let me see what it was. So after '64, it dropped off dramatically from 19 million, almost 20 million. 65 is 13 million. Then it drops to 3 million in '66. 2.9, and so on down to 1872, 65,000, and 600 proof sets in '73.
Thank you, sir.
I think we had a question of Dave Dubin here.
Yeah, what's the exact composition of the 2 cent piece? Probably.
It's copper and nickel.
No,
Okay.
just no nickel.
Is it copper? Yeah, I guess that's a one of the patterns was had copper and nickel,
So bronze going to be copper, zinc, and tin.
and they had tin as well. They had a tin pattern as well.
Okay, Herb Miles.
Have you got any of the varieties? Any of them?
No,
Closed 3, open 3, that sort of thing?
yeah, I have the closed 3, 1873, and the small 1864 small date, and the fancy 5.
Small model.
Brad, I noticed that some of the pattern coins are made of aluminum. Isn't that worth more than gold at the time?
I don't know.
Yeah, because they didn't know how to process it. Exactly.
Okay, I have a question, but we'll take one more from the field. One more. Right here.
So, the pattern points, what's their availability?
I don't know.
You
Didn't look
you
at
don't
that.
have any of those?
I do not have any pattern coins.
Ever seen one?
No.
Okay. Brad, what were the particular reasons that you decided to collect a uniform set in VF40? Why did you like that grade?
Because it really has the entire features of the coins, especially the Wii.
So we is a
The
very
Wii was
important-
the crowning factor for me collecting these.
So if you had to make a suggestion for any members collecting the 2 cent piece, you would advise go at least the VF40.
That's correct.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you so
excellent
much.
report.
I have something for you here from the American Numismatic Association. because you did an excellent numismatic program to our society. It's to you, Brad Lee, signed by the president, Gary Atkins of the ANA.
Question to Mr. Bob.
Yes,
You said VF 40, did you mean EF 40?
VF.
That's
Very fine.
I thought a 40 is EF.
Yeah, it's EF.
Extra fines, okay, I stand corrected.
I know you
Extra
know.
fine.
That's because Bob only collects Mid-State Morgan dollars, that's what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. All my Morgans look like Lindy's over here, MS-67. If any of you haven't seen her MS-67 Morgan, come take a look. She'll charge you, but come take a
Yeah,
look.
because everybody
Okay,
wants to see it.
thank you, Brad, appreciate it, Bob, thank you for having this,
Just close that.
setting that program up. And so let's take